Hi guys, finally I've made the plunge and got my first electronic die cutting machine, a brand new Silhouette Cameo 4. So I just wanted to share the process with you and show you the unboxing and what I have been doing. My name is Linda and I love paper crafting. You can find all of my free digital printables to download from my blog, tortagialla.com, and follow me here on YouTube for project ideas. Okay, let's dive right in and let me show you the unboxing of my Silhouette Cameo 4. If you're wondering why I chose a Silhouette instead of another die cut machine, because I so have watched all of the comparison videos. Usually people talk about Cricut versus Silhouette. Ultimately, I think most any of the die cutting machines, it's going to do its job, but we all have personal preferences, so it's a matter of choosing what makes sense with your workflow and your preferences. I come from a design background, I'm a graphic designer, and I have access to all of the Adobe Creative Cloud programs, so it made more sense to me to get a Silhouette because the Silhouette Studio software wasn't confusing to me, and I think that it has more tools, more power for you to do more things, especially if you're going to be using your own designs. Ultimately, I think it just depends on if you want ease of use or more power and more options, but it might be more confusing or take a longer time for you to get to know how to use it. So recently I saw a deal online from an online shop called Craftelier. It's a Spanish-based online craft store here in Europe. And living in Europe means that we usually get American products later, and they usually cost a lot to ship if we're buying from the company itself, just because of the distance, the location. So anything that is in the European Union is just going to be a lot more accessible to me. In terms of Cricut and Silhouette, it was just a lot cheaper for me to get the Silhouette, and because there was this sort of slight discount, I just went ahead and went for the Silhouette. However, I am a total newbie when it comes to electronic die cutting machines. The last machine that I have is basically, I still have it, is the Big Shot, which is a manual die cut machine, and that's from like an eternity ago. Still use it every once in a while, but obviously it does not allow me to use my own designs and cut them out, which is what I really wanted to do, to create embellishments, to design my own titles and things for scrapbooking and crafting, and definitely to print and cut my own stickers, which is probably going to be the thing that I'm going to do the most. So a couple thoughts on the Cameo, because even though I've seen a lot of videos online, I really did not know much about it, and I don't have anyone here that has a Cameo, so I haven't really seen it in real life. When the Cameo 4 arrived, it is really heavy and quite large, so it takes up a fair amount of desk space or shelf space, so you really have to make sure you do have a place to put it. And it needs clearance in the front and the back of the machine, because obviously the mat for cutting or whatever paper you're putting in is going to be sliding in and out from the front and the back. Second, I sort of miss this issue of how the new cutting mat would be so darn sticky. I just sort of started using it and I got paper stuck on it, and then other things on my desk got stuck on the mat, and the cardstock that I first started to use was way too light and it was a hot mess and really frustrating. And I somehow just missed that in the tutorials of how maybe you should sort of unstick your mat a little in the beginning, because when it first arrives, it's just super, super, super sticky. So depending on the material that you're cutting, it might sort of cause issues. And I always found, even now, like if your paper is too thin or if your cardstock isn't really that heavy duty, when you try to take it out and stuff, you might sort of like bend the paper or just have it curl, and that's not really ideal. But the only salvation is that I am cutting a lot of print and cut stickers, and you can do matless cutting, which means the mat is not even needed. You just load the paper, the sticker paper in, and it will kiss cut the stickers, and the backing obviously is still there, so it doesn't really go all the way through. So that is a really nice feature, and I just prefer that in general, to not have to use a mat if I don't have to. Another thing to consider, I obviously did not always double check the settings before hitting send and starting a cut. And for some reason in the silhouette, there doesn't seem to be a way to like properly cancel something that is in progress of cutting. You can certainly pause the machine manually, or you can go into the software and like click the X and it'll like cancel out, but it doesn't seem like it's very official, like it's very weird. Or you can just turn off the machine and sort of like start over, but obviously you will have like a miscut already started and just, waste material. The other thing is I did not realize how loud the machine is. Obviously, it's not a deal breaker. I don't think anyone is going to be cutting necessarily in the middle of the night all the time. Maybe, I don't know, but it is really loud. At first, I just wasn't used to what it was supposed to sound like, and I thought, am I doing something wrong? Is something misaligned with the machine, and that's why it's making this noise? So I can share a little of what it sort of sounds like, at least what my machine sounds like. I hope it is normal. I think it is. But yeah, I did not realize that. Finally, I have tested a lot right now, and the blade and just how everything works, I can't say that I'm super, super happy with it, but it might be simply because there is a learning curve, and given that I've never used an electronic die cutting machine before, obviously there's a lot to learn. And another issue is you're going to want to buy more tools, more paper, more accessories, more supplies, digital files, just to try things out. So even though it might be on sale and the cost of the machine is XYZ, you're going to have to budget more, because there's almost like no way you're not going to want something else to sort of go along with this little hobby of yours. So that's just something that I had not budgeted for, and I'm realizing, oh man, like I should have thought about that before and got all the supplies beforehand as well, just like in one big order, so that I would have more things to use instead of sitting here waiting like for something else to arrive and like ordering another thing and something to arrive. I do think it might be important to have extra blades, because if you break your blade, or I don't know, just something happens, or you don't know how to I feel like there's something funky with my auto blade and maybe it's not working properly, but there's sort of no way to know because I don't have another one to try out. And I sort of don't know the difference because I don't have the experience. So just all of those questions and ponderings in my mind. If you have any suggestions or answers to my question, please enlighten me. Tell me in the comments below. But whether or not, it's worth it or not, definitely I am excited about my Cameo. I want to use it. I want to try so many different projects. So I will definitely share what it is I create upcoming, and definitely share any printables or anything that I create with all of you guys as well, just to like sort of go on this little journey of learning more about electronic die cutting machines and how to make the most of it. Of course, there are so many features I haven't touched, and there are just so many things out there to learn. I think it'll give me accountability if I document the process and share with all of you. I always see so many amazing projects out there, and I know that the Cameo can help. It just sort of depends on if we make the use of it. So I will learn more and share with all of you. Let me know if you have any suggestions or comments, or maybe like the best YouTuber to follow when it comes to silhouette Cameo usage. I'm happy to learn, and I want to learn as much as I can. So that's it for this video. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one.